A drug is defined as any chemical substance that impacts the mind and the body. However, drug use can have major impacts on the user's social life and relationships. Many addiction sufferers experience a loss of status, friends, significant others, family, and other connections. The good news is that with treatment, the vast majority of former drug users regain lost relationships and social networks and then build new, healthier ones once in recovery. How does drug use cause social effects? It does so in many ways, but the primary one is through the effects of addiction. While all drug abuse is negative, when it rises to the level of a diagnosable substance use disorder, these impacts are greatly magnified. One of the components of addiction is dependence. A person who is dependent on a substance that stops taking that substance or reduces their dose will experience extremely unpleasant symptoms known as withdrawal. These symptoms can be traumatizing and, in the case of some drugs, can even be fatal. Many users will go to any length to avoid withdrawal. This includes committing crimes or acts of violence, injuring themselves, and even backstabbing loved ones. These actions are often done to get more of their substance of choice or to conceal their use. As you would expect, this often causes damage to close personal relationships. Another component of addiction is that sufferers dedicate increasing amounts of their time to acquiring, using, and recovering from using their substance of choice. This is especially the case with many illegal drugs, which can be expensive and have long recovery periods. This takes time away from social, personal, and familial responsibilities, plus it damages relationships. Not only is critical time missed, but loved ones often feel slighted and abandoned. Addiction sufferers typically begin to spend more and more time with those who share their addictions. Frankly, this is because they have similar interests and experiences, and they often encourage each other. At the same time, they tend to isolate themselves from non-users who often judge them. These addiction sufferers then try harder and harder to conceal their behaviors to avoid being judged or feeling shame. These factors combine to form a cycle where addiction sufferers increasingly lose healthy relationships with healthy people and come to rely more and more on unhealthy relationships with unhealthy people. These unhealthy relationships and unhealthy people often worsen addictions and cause social damage. Tragically, unhealthy people will often deliberately sabotage the healthy relationship of others for their own benefit. Eventually, many, if not most, addiction sufferers find that their only relationships are based primarily or exclusively on their shared substance abuse. Addiction can even physically remove you from your loved ones, either by death or incarceration. Every year, more than 100,000 people die from drug use in the United States, and more than 375,000 are incarcerated for drug-related offenses. That's almost 500,000 families that are losing time with their loved ones, many of them forever. It's difficult, if not impossible, to build and nurture a relationship with someone who's just not there. Many addiction sufferers feel that it is too late for them to rebuild their relationships, but that is not true. Most friends and family will gladly welcome a loved one back once they have exited active addiction and entered recovery. In fact, most would tell the addiction sufferer that it's their greatest wish. If you or a loved one want to start rebuilding the social damage caused by drug abuse, you can do it today. The team at Better Addiction Care is here to help. Get in touch with our team at 1-800-429-7690 to learn more about the free resources we offer to those seeking substance abuse treatment.